Just pulled up to Pronghorn Camp in New Mexico. A cow for cover and nothing for a while. There's a lot of eyes in there. There's one right by the collar. There's one of the bucks. They're all coming down the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna take that one. Like anything in life, if you get success in one area, you tend to gravitate back to those same places where you found it. And with me not drawing a pronghorn tag this year, the Murphys offered me another landowner tag in New Mexico, the same one I took advantage of last year. There he is. Shaking a little bit. And taking. What a pretty buck. So this year, I was hoping for an even better repeat of the same success. Well, just pulled up to Pronghorn Camp in New Mexico. Camping in the same spot. We're not here early enough probably to do any scouting tonight. Got 3 days to kill a good pronghorn. We got about 30 minutes till sunset. With this cloud cover, it's not going to stay light very long, so throw a sweatshirt on and drop the pop-up trailer and get camp set up. The next morning, I woke up to some unexpected cool, wet weather. Pronghorn hunting's supposed to be hot and dry. We got cool and damp. Got a lot of ground to cover, lots of little undulations in the terrain. With this landowner tag, you have to choose your 3 days to hunt, and last year ran up against the end of the season. Even though we got to know the property a little bit, there's quite a bit that we didn't really get to explore. I killed a great goat that I was thrilled with last year, just a beautiful, symmetrical pronghorn. So the freezer's getting a little bare, got to fill it up with some meat. We'll have a fun hunt regardless. Pretty good harem out there. There's one buck, it's so far away, and in this light it's tough to see, but not bad. It's got good mass. Kind of comes up and doesn't curl in, and it's just going on a downhill side of the rise. But it's good to see the first goats of the hunt. And we're starting to see some more this morning. That's a pretty good herd over there. I'm guessing 12 to 15 animals, which would likely indicate a pretty good buck, dominant buck probably. It was just too far away and in this rain and light and terrain to see how good he is. I spotted a herd of pronghorn close enough to try to put on a stalk, hoping that there's a good buck with them worth pursuing. Got some pronghorn spotted over here, probably 500 yards away, but there's a ridge between us and them, and there's a buck in there. You can't tell how good he is, so shouldn't need the spotting scope. Ought to be able to get close enough to check it out through the binos. They're right at this black cow that's coming up, so let's get up this way a little bit. Two better bucks, two little bucks, and a handful of does. The one on the left looks like the best of them. There's not a lot of cover. They don't seem too alarmed, and they're still bedded. They're really watching those cows. Those two bucks on the left stood up, and now one's a decent buck. They aren't alarmed at all. Boy, I tell you, if we can make it 150 yards where we're down, we got a lot of cholla to work through. Oh, there's more right over here closer. A little buck and two does. Got a cow for cover and nothing for a while. That small buck and those two does are kind of feeding towards us. think if we bust them, the gig's up. That's the direction I want to go. So that's a problem. Pretty good buck, actually. There's a lot of eyes in there. Pure Hunting is brought to you by Browning, the best there is, and by Thorogood, American manufacturer of job-fitted work and outdoor footwear since 1892. Hoyt, get serious, get Hoyt. Iota Outdoors, question every detail. Control the sound with custom-fit digital hearing protection from ESP, and these other fine companies. After a few hours on the first day of my hunt in New Mexico, I spotted a good buck among several does. One's a decent buck, but they aren't alarmed at all. However, there was no cover and too many eyeballs to make a stock. I think if we bust them, the gig's up, and that's the direction I want to go. Still haven't seen part of the property I want to see, and nothing here is really just jumping right out, so I think I'll back out, head to the truck, and scout a little bit more. Got a group of pronghorn out here. I don't know if there's a buck or how big one might be with them, but it's a good sized group. But they're not that far away right now, and I think if we keep a couple cedars between us and them, we ought to have a chance to get close. There's a lot of eyes in there. I don't see a buck yet, but there's a lot of animals. There's a doe. Okay. She's back to moving around. That buck's off to the right. I think if I can just make it to that cedar, get in the shade, I'll be better. It's a pretty good buck, actually. There's 5 bucks in there. I don't think they've seen us, they just know something's up. Most of them are pretty calm, but now that he's staring, they're all staring. Our wind's blowing where some of those front does may be catching a whiff every now and again. They aren't too spooked. Try to creep around and get set up, maybe. Standing next to that cholla. He's kind of hidden. Oh. Those does are working away. The wind just switched and started going. And now all of them are going. That was a good stock. He was a good buck, but I think we can do as well or better. It's still early and haven't seen everything we want to see property-wise. There's about 15 to 20 animals in there. It's hard to move around with that many eyes. Yep, they're all taken off. Well, that was a cool stock. Still early in the hunt. Last year on these roads, I ran into an unexpected surprise.
Here we go. Something's gun?
Get ya?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my blood. No fangs, I'm good. We'll let you go.
This year, I ran into something a little less intense, but just as cool.
Hi, bud. What are you doing? Last year was a bull snake, this year it's a box turtle. Say hi. You can see where they got ET from a tortoise head. Looks just like him. There's one. What's going out there? There's one right by the collar. Hi, I'm Willie Schmidt with Pure Hunting. As you probably know, I've been using Tenzing's packs for about the last 6 years. They've come out with a brand new line of packs, their TX series. This is their new TX15 pack. As with all Tenzing packs, the yellow tabs open up to the main compartment. One of the cool features is they've got this front, what they call shove-it pocket. Just a way you can have things pretty accessible there, shove it down. It doesn't have any zippers, but it's attached by this buckle. It's got the airflow system here. It's off of your back, air passes through here, it's rigid, sits nicely against your back. As with all Tenzing packs, high quality, lightweight. I've used them for years and I'm really excited to put this TX15 into use this fall. Be sure to go to Tenzing and check out their new line of TX packs.
Early on my second day in New Mexico, I decided to take advantage of the cool morning temperatures to try for some coyotes. Well, it's first light. 57 degrees, which is hard to believe. Bit of a heat wave, and it's going to get up to the mid-80s again. Since coyotes are more active in the morning, especially with this heat, we're going to try to get a couple of stands in before we head back out after the pronghorn. Let's go see what we got. It's a little windy, but can't control that. Yuccas over here we can get on just the other side in a huge basin. Let's go try that. We gotta see a coyote coming from a long ways off if something's coming. Here we go. Immediately after setting up the call, I was surprised by two coyotes. There's one. What's going out there? Missed him. Now he's running like a bat out of hell. That happened way too fast. He must have been right below as I set the collar up. I mean, they were on us in 30 seconds. Change the call and see if we can get that other one in. There's a coyote way out there. He's kind of hung up. There's one right by the collar. There must have been a den right over here under this bluff because those first two came in so fast. Didn't get a shot. Third one way out there hung up, and then this one just came right to the collar and fortunately stuck around, biting at the collar. Coyote down in New Mexico. Just a young dog. There must have been a pack of them because I think those first two that came in were young as well. Little male. Probably the smallest coyote I've ever shot, but he won't grow up to be a big one now. Got some funky growth in his mouth. Look at that. I've never seen that. All throughout his whole upper mouth, even on his lower. Let me take a picture of that and see if somebody knows what it is. It turns out it was canine oral papilloma virus, or oral warts. I understand it's painful and the coyote probably wasn't eating well. Look at that. Hey, it's clear. Take him. Pure Hunting is brought to you by Browning Ammunition and by Browning Crossbows. Wilderness Athlete, the authority on outdoor performance. And by Fox Pro, high performance game calls. Browning Casual Sportswear, the best there is. And these other fine companies. Be sure to check out Tenzing for their full line of packs. From the backcountry for elk to the tree stand for whitetail, Tenzing is my pack of choice. I travel a fair amount on some of my hunts, and I trust Plano to keep my hunting equipment safe and protected while traveling on all of my hunts. After shooting a coyote with a bad oral condition, it was time to get back to hunting pronghorn. We got a group of antelope up here with, from this distance, looked like a decent buck. We had a group over here now with 2 bucks. The wind's cutting across this way, going right at those, so we'll at least have a perpendicular wind going at them. So not a lot of cover in this part, but that's what makes it a challenge. He's coming up to check us out. He's gonna get our wind in a little bit. I just don't think he's as big as the earlier ones. Oh, that's a perfect example of being over a half mile away and thinking a buck looks okay, and you get up and just didn't have a whole lot. So it's pretty apparent that the rut's over. I mean, you got bucks leaving does. They're not really chasing each other around at all. Even they're not that wigged out. The decoys kind of got them curious. But I think now trying to make a big loop around, get the wind right. We got a lot of antelope down there where that water tank was, and up another draw, and maybe we'll have better stalking cover and terrain. This was a tough deal. As luck would have it, I intercepted a large herd as they appeared to be heading to the area of the water tank. Got a pretty good herd with 4 bucks. The minute they said the rut's over, they're chasing each other around and chasing a doe. But they're kind of quartering towards us, so I want to drop down, work a couple hundred yards to the left, and they may feed right at us. In there. I like the look of the one with the prongs, but I don't think he's not nearly as tall. Okay, I'm gonna take that one with the tallest horns. Okay, it's clear. Take him. My New Mexico pronghorn. That worked out about as well as it can work. And I debated on all 4 of them. The one that I thought was the prettiest buck had the best prongs, was the shortest one, and when they all started getting together, it was like eeny, meeny, miny, moe. And just took that 1/4 2 pretty hard, took that front shoulder and knocked him out. What a hunt. Oh yeah. So they all 4 were, this was the tallest one out of all of them. I'm thrilled to death. This is the 3rd pronghorn I've killed in a row, they've all been so unique and different. And I've said it before, he's not the biggest goat that's out here. No guarantee I'd kill him, but made a good ethical shot. The freezer doesn't care what size the horns are. That'll look great on a skull hooker and make great memories of this hunt. You know, some of the does do have horns, and obviously the bucks, the real young ones, but the way to tell if it's a buck or a doe, if it's got horns, is the black cheek patch will give it away. Only the males have that black cheek patch, and as they mature and get older, their face gets darker and that patch gets a little bit bigger. Get them cooled off, bring the truck in. That is one thing that's nice. Should be able to get the truck really close here and put him in the back and get his quarters on ice.
Success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, and sometimes knowing where you found it the year before. But this second trip to New Mexico was an adventure all its own.
Just got the buck, got it out, leave him here. I marked a point on my onX maps, and I'm gonna go to get the truck, bring him back, and load him in. All bled out. All right, beat the rain. Get to go and have a little mountain house and maybe a Coors Light.